Good evening, folks. And good morning, New Zealandnam. Boy, if they get the Ho Chi Minh Trail Popeye operation going well upon you guys. And here she comes. She's coming ashore, batch one. And you got several tons to deal with. Because when this comes over, watch. It's gonna form another low and she's gonna dance. There is nowhere for these to go. Watch. I'm gonna do the pressure move. Let's get you right in the center. Lowest dog is here is why I got it on the screen. Right, this is an extremely low pressure that's been generated. It wasn't here yesterday when I did the forecast last night. So that has been combined into existence with a cold catalyst and the moving of air. Right, you've got cold air to contend with coming from here. This is rotating in this direction, high in this hemisphere. So let's start to look at the dynamics of what's here right now. Right? They finally agree the pressure is exactly this, right? That they can't lie about. So we can deal with this map. We can look at this map and see what's going to happen. We're also going to look at this map and the beams of which have occurred on the today. Now this is yesterday at 9 a.m. and this would be a guider or one of those like a diversion thing you would put down to make water go a certain direction. A wall of heated outflow, a wedge. And where's he pointing at? The epicenters. Bingo. There's a faint line right there at Planum. I'm also going to show you a correlation between that line and these earthquakes that have been occurring in this wedge of these EMF beams right here. That I'm going to move along now. This is back in time. So you can see it's panning, or in other words, its beam is swath is moving as a wiper, like a wiper blade on your windshield, slinging the water that direction. It's panning from east to west. It's important. Then it's off, and another one comes in, but its epicenter is out at sea. Yep, do you see it? It's out at sea. So that's a ship firing back in that direction, keeping this area perturbed, keeping this area vibrating. You hit a small over there. And this is a very recent step. As of 17 minutes ago, I screenshotted it and it popped it on somebody's messenger without explanation. And just so I could pinch it off and show you the correlation between these beams and the earthquakes that you've been having in those areas. It's well covered. The electromagnetic perturbations through the mantle is well evident. And as we get up toward the last frames, boom, you're hiding out of the beam from the feed. Yeah, but it's too late. We already seen it. I've already documented it. It's too late. You already been moaned. Here they come, bustin' and booming. Here they go, busted, busted. And the emperor sells you new clothes, and then you go it out streaking. Woo! Beaming and pluming. I'll tell you, I'll show you some booming and plumers. You beaming much through here, feel like you may have some perturbations going on over here in New South Wales that might be causing an earthquake near you, right along these lines. Pulsations in the atmosphere cause pulsations in the earth itself. It's a big beam that came on there. Emanation point out at sea. They're playing with their toys that you pay for. You pay for the toys and they play with them. Hand it into private hands. You do the government research, pay for that grant, and then away it goes into the hands of the Raytheons. Bzzz. How do you feel about Raytheon after your protest over there where they turned those LRAD radars on the innocent population who was just within their rights to ask for changes in policy of a government that seems to be very much in bed with the corporation. It does. Follow the money. You'll find a guy called Mr. Grant Mr. Grant sits next to a guy called the Science who counts the money and gives it to the doctor and says, would you do a paper about blah blah in a certain perspective? And well, how many studies are done and thrown in a bin? And those people are signed non-disclosure. I can't even tell you the fact they did a study and it's been thrown in a bin. See the wedge shape there? Causing a flow. Pinning that there so it has to fold. Holds it in New Zealand. Boy, are you guys getting fucked. And that there is at 9 o'clock this morning. We're still on the third day. Yeah, see, that's way behind these stats sometimes. Let's see what the last moment is of blastings. And that'll be at 9 o'clock this morning as of 3.49 hours ago. Ooh, 3 hours and 49 minutes. So the line of moving it in is coming along here. It meets this line, hits a resistance like a bumper. Boom. Shock absorbs into that a bit, bounces back. It's going to fight with this low over here. It's going to cause it to hook here and stall. So whatever comes here, it's got to sit for a while. Now, as far as the big mimic went, there's nowhere for this to go. The pressure-wise clearly saved. This low dog here is owning the show. So this is now going to be stalling towards that one, but you got this one kicking up in this direction here, right? So it's taking a tropical flow. If this is then kicking straight along this line through here, so you're going to have a laminar flow of cold mixing with tropical flow in the atmosphere coming straight in over the top of Queensland. It's going to assist the problem here. Beam coming up over here is going to force water over there as well. So you're going to have a flow of air with cool in it mixing with a warm air flow from here. This we've just seen has been split. Do and don't. Right? So that's going to be what's going to fuck cans. What's screwing you guys here is the steaming on of this storm and the actual drag of its momentum along this coastline through here. It's not always the best place to be, is that coastline. And this here's got a big station that'll then direct or use a swirl beam, and radar always goes offline when it does it, because I busted your balls for 10 years about that place. I call it Swirly Girl. And so, Perth, you're in for it today as well. So if I take you back to the time machine here to what's going on while you're sleeping. And I'm not talking about sheepy sleeping. I'm talking about, yeah, it's bedtime, and you guys get a thunder show, and it's going to keep you awake and dish your ease and not give you the amount of sleep you're supposed to have as you was worrying about things. And she's coming through in about 48 hours, right? And it's going to drop you some totals. And it's going to give you a great big drop over the next 3 days over here in Perth. And some of these neighborhoods, you're going to expect higher totals than what they're showing here. Excess is showing less in some and higher in others. As you'll see down here, they're pinpoint more of those neighborhoods. I went and I looked at the agenda and I told you right. They're going to hit you here and they're going to hit you up here. You're going to swell these streams and then hit here, and you already have a problem. There's nowhere for the water to go. And if the tides are coming in at that time when the water's trying to get out, and there'll be high tides because we do have a full moon going on, so you can expect free flowing water and free mantle. You guys are having terrible totals on the twos as well. This is a big event, and you got this. Know it, all right? Icon should give me a 2-day total. Ooh, not full agreement with this, but even getting that, I say you're going to get about 10 centimeters there over the next 48 hours. Through there, if it stalls any more along this coastline, you get more. So it's all really up to what beams come out in this corner down here, right? So then I got to go back to mimic again. I have to pay attention to this corner. So this what took so long for me to do this determinants today. I had to watch so many different areas of beaming going on, right? This area has a ship out here, and it's manipulating this storm up here. Right? There's a lot of weather manipulation going on today, and I cannot got the time to look at India today. But maybe this evening. See the double move there? That's a fold. That kind of pins it in place here, forces that around. If the heated outflow is enough, it'll actually cut the center of circulation off. And it kind of looks like that's what they're doing, which sends that south, but its moisture and momentum keeps it moving. Okay, so just drop some cold into it. You get a secondary low forming, or cause a rush of air toward it, which causes vacuum to form between the differences in the pressures, and that itself is a cooling effect and will form an instant low. Earthquake risk is extremely high through here right now as this was butting in and I see the beam sweats. There's a beam shooting up right through here at your guiding line where the storm's going to come in and park. Is low, it'll go just over the top of that because that's a weak beam. Hit the front of that with its moisture that's in front of it. It'll bounce back a bit because of the heated outflow toward the cold, and that's going to stall this, and you're going to see a pressure dancer come around here for about the next 2 weeks. Yeah, I just said 2 weeks, and now I'm going to show you New Zealand exactly what the weather plan is. I think is the most accurate. So you'll have to listen. That's on the threes when this first event that's coming over now. This is the one that swells all these streams and gets them running towards you. Remember, Esk Valley, you had a lot of debris fill up the valley. Your what do I call it? Your floodplain has risen by the exact amount of silt and slash that's sitting in the valley. So your pre-existing levees will not handle what is coming. You guys take this seriously. I want to be warned. Right, this is what's coming over is serious. And within 48 hours, expect this total to most likely be sitting up near a half a meter when I hit the 10. This is the hand of God pouring a bucket of cleansing, beautiful water upon the land that does not deserve what's going to happen, but it's when the corporation stamps its name on your country. It is. You are listed as a corporation. A lot of your political parties are as well. Yeah. Corporate corpos. You're being zombie invaded in a different way. So that's your tens. Axis is saying it's a lot less, but not significantly. No difference of 10 centimeters on an event on 10 days is a fart in the wind when you're getting up into the 20 centimeters. You're going to have a problem. They're just now starting to show the tolos on the outlying island for when that butts up against this wall of EMF over here that I'm showing. I'll give you a zoomer on it. Whoa, look at the Tetris Plex, the Lego land of it all. There's the beam shooting out. And that looks like the local radar doing it. This one here has clearly got a square over Blenheim, is very active in the steering of this storm. They're making sure they don't hit here. You got a beam sweat here. See it? Come down here. It's a trapper. If this had any intention of coming down here in a crash, it'd come to an end. Because the flow of this toward that was put an end to that. And we got a thing that look like a monkey tail over here taking a crap on Tassie. Oh, that's just sex. Imaginarium. Call Imaginarium what it is. Fiji, your earthquake risk is extremely high. Boy, if they ever popped your old volcano over there, that'd be a sight. That'd explain the acid rain. I would like, again, I want samples of the rain taken for its pH content. What's its number? And plenty of people doing that. Let's be proactive about this. What can you do? You could do that. Litmus paper. Hold it in the rain. Wait the amount of time it says on the instructions. Hold it next to the pictures on there of what the colors stand for and show it. Don't have to have the fancy one with all the chemicals. Come on, the colors are so close together. You have to be a chameleon to tell the difference. Well, let's just go with some litmus paper. LITMUS, paper. Most drugstores sell it. Many diabetic people and heart patients use it to make sure their potassium content is correct. I learned that from my grandma. Alright, that one there is a punch. This is a punch. Folds it right on around. This thing's going to cruise along. Its moisture's getting scattered inland here, but it's going to take about 36 hours. It's going to kick off through New South Wales, and you're going to expect some wicked thunderstorms. I know that's going to be so, because when I looked at SatViewer, I seen the deployments out here. The electrics are going to be high. The flows of one type metal against the other is going to release a lot of ions, and those ions are going to have to find ground somewhere, or catalyze a chemical. It has to happen. You have the lameroos over here to Cambramia, and I'm not going to go over that quite yet. As I'm still very concerned that when I see stuff like this, and I seen them beam sweats I showed you um, over here through those timestamp ones. Let's just hide it. You got these beams all along through here causing interference patterns where the beams overlap. That's a big boy right there. It's a moisture splitter. That's an El Nino maker with an El Grande Bimo. The El Bimo method. Bzzzt, fried. So, I'm going to move on now to the forecast because this is hard, so I'm going to just do this. It is. I don't enjoy this at all. It says we head into Tuesday. I've already shown you that part. Right? I'll give you a quick refresh. There she is. Right? Over she comes. Runs into that wall of EMF. This will flow from here, pinned it and pushed north. There was nowhere for it to go. It was directed. Now she's in the area of perturbation. That might overrun a bit, but come back around because of the pressures of this thing moving in that direction. It's kicking everything right over Hawks, right over the thumb. Now you guys are about to cop it. The pressures are extremely important for you to watch because it's going to do a dance. Because the thumb has an effect here every time of drag, much like I use it for over Harvey Bay and over outside Brisbane over there, Brisbane, because Bribey Island and all that have an effect. Bribey Island has an effect when flows are moving north. Brisbane, when they're moving south, causes a drag and a natural low to form. I'll get to you, Australia. I know you're coming onto screen. Actually, I'll bring you on. Yeah, just for you guys over here in Australia, your big event for the main part over here, the dregs from the storm in going into New South Wales from what was infecting Western Australia, you're looking like you got about 36 to 48 hours, and depending on your exact location, if it gets it first, it's going to take a big beam move to move this. Okay, so I'm looking for it on Wednesday my time at about 10 o'clock. I'm going to zip over see if I'm still running. Yeah. I see a question with my name in it. Anything headed for Australia? It's already there. I'm going over you right now, my friend. There you go. Well, thank you for caring enough to wonder the wonders of geoengineered weather. Owning you and the weather by 2025 with Agenda 2030. Firmly owning everything else. And you being happy every day with you owning nothing. Yeah, it's bullshit today. Grandma's picture on the wall might be precious to me, you know, if I had any. But to you, as the snows twinkled down into the towns near Hobart, Ishville, and the higher mountain areas of the rugged country of Tasmania, the storm that never leaves is doing this pressure dance around itself, and that thing is going to keep swallowing and bloop, 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 bloop. And every time it comes in, it's dragging some of that heavy flows of these rains with it. These are the tendrils. These are the terrible tendrils. If that thing parked over the top of you for 3 hours, you get 6 centimeters of water. Okay? Wow. It's 2 centimeters an hour. That's a centimeter every half an hour. That's half a centimeter, or 500 miles, 50 miles every 15 minutes. If that thing parked over the top of you, and I have a feeling she will pass over, it'll take more than 15 minutes when them tendrils come, and are coming. Is this pressure dance always happens like this. I've been watching it for years, and you calculate it. It has to happen, even naturally. Those two pressures in the flow of this trying to push that, coming around that, interacting with that. With a low dog over here running the show, even while it's passed over here, the upper level doesn't give a shit about what's on sea level. It just moves. Huh? It's right. Some of them winds up there will be 200 miles an hour. Some of these flows coming toward you will be 150, 200 miles an hour. They're going to get there quick as these pressures dance. And then the storm is going to turn back towards you after it's been well out at sea. And that's going to take a beam to do it. That's when they have to separate it. That's when you heat that up, make that join that, pop that there, shove that sucker down there, pan the wiper blade over towards the west, while it meets this high, and you got the big crunch, small condensates collide, heavy droplets fall, second batch begins. Well, this will actually be round 3, and the Fuckingtons in Harks Bay. These poor folks with the swollen dreams, and the streams, and the screams. But it breaks my heart to have to even do this for That's going to be rough for you guys. You got some decisions to make about where the safest areas are going to be, because this is not over on that day, because this has got nowhere to go. That part pops off, high goes back in place underneath it, new high is right here. All your flows of the tropics are bent toward New Zealand right now. You got a long, wet, soggy winter season coming, and when they're talking a low like this down here, the winds are going to be fierce. It's going to kick up some incredibly cold air. And wow, we must not hesitate when the Battle of Hastings is no longer in 1066. It heralds we know his weakness. It's one in the eye for the devil sometimes. Okay, New South Wales, your turn. Rain. Well, if you get thunderstorms popping up, I can go straight to the radar. Let's see what we got going. I'm going to run 2 cities right now. Try to collect myself. Right then. Perth, big line of storms, going to be quite electric. Temperatures, ways, let's look at the mixes here. I need to know something. Surface is nice, but I want 3,000 feet. 3,000 meters high up. Temperatures, where's the cold? Alright, the cold is sitting at about 10,000 feet. It has very low to interact with it, so that's plenty to cause all the dynamics of any kind of tropical system just by agitating the atmosphere and undulating one layer into the other through collidings. Hot air trough, a tongue of it's come down here, which will definitely be used to fuel the storms, and that's why Broken Hill is going to have a lightning line. Yeah, there's your line of volatility, right through here. Biggest line of lightning, biggest chances of hail and tornadic activity. Alright, let's go back to the weather plan. Rain, thunders, and rumblers for Australia. Oh, good. And I got you to go up here. I'll let that roll for a minute with me saying nothing. Oh, what's left to say? This is how I felt telling Lismore another one was coming. And boy, did I copy for doing that. Oh, God, I did. So, if you got animals, places here in Australia, you might want to consider opening up your pastures, making sure they got food in the higher areas where last time you knew them to be safe. I know no safe spot in the world from geoengineering. And you can't hide from yourself when you know about some things. As they do the moves to move them around the corners because the predictable lines ahead of time telling you they're going to need a beam to do some, and then that day there it is, within the hours to bring a weather plan about. Yeah, I study the engineering by watching it happen. They don't write books on this, and perhaps they should. But if it changes every day, the method, perhaps they should share their book. Oh, that's a really bad line they've got predicted here. What's the temperature line that day? Yeah, again, that tongue is hot. A little cold behind it, feeding it, probably evaporation effect. Remember, when things evaporate, evaporation is a cooling process. Just put that down as an answer to a test. Aspirants looks probably be swirly girl will be on. That's a beam nickname of mine for it. And this is going to be a tornadic day. Cover your gardens and the fruit trees that don't know what the hell they're doing. Half of them are putting out plums, half may, and some of the oranges are coming out and some of them may. The trees don't know what's going on because the geoengineers, they have no link to Mother. Because if they did, Mother would know. And I'll tell you, if you had a link to Mother, you wouldn't be acting like a motherfucker like this. Right, the line of storms, Maury, you are going to have a batch. Right, I'll be watching for the beans to decide it, and they're going to run into an EMF line. It has to come on hard. They have to squeeze that off, let that flow, then let that go, so it can spin independent up the coast, and let a tongue of cold air come up to meet the tropics of what's going on up here. Right, now I'm back to your other ones. Cans. You get a tropical flow come your way that was well set in motion by beams and well kept in place. This one here clearly shows the move that is keeping the flow going towards Queensland and the far north. But its EMF flow is being pinned, so it doesn't come very far inland. You're fucking killing us, man. I think it's time for me to travel again and tell people. Get off Facebook. Watch. They're doing the can. Well, too many people say we can't. You know, my mother always said, can't never did anything. And I hear her say, do did it all. Well, we gotta be Dr. Do a lot. It's how it's being sold as do a little. And it's okay to do things together. It really is. Highly recommend it. So, Cans, you got some totals, Kevin. I'm just gonna get right to it. Broke my heart watching that. Right, the flooding in the corridor looks pretty imminent again for the end. It's failed. Blah, blah, blah. Corridor here, swelling the trees, killing the trees. Typical shit. Geoengineers booming and a pluming. Hey, Tully, how you doing? I'm just not feeling this today. Can't stop crying over this. Alright, I gotta go. Sometimes we have to suck it up like buttercups. Cast our seeds to the wind, hope they land somewhere good. You just got total non-stop, hitting you all the time, rain, because the EMF pinned all the flows there. They pinned it all there. And you can see all the chem they got going on up there. See this big line of shit. You should be thankful it's only that. But when you got flows mixing like this and blasts coming out toward it, you know you got EMF moves controlling the flow, making sure things go a certain way, making sure some people have it and some people don't. Some people get the good life and some people don't. As decided by our oppressors, probably based on what your property value isn't anymore, or what is underneath your house that is of value. And why y'all acting all yalla? I'm gonna be all yellow. Yelling here, yelling there, Cobar getting the chem bomb dash treatment. Look at this shit. Boom, boom, boom. Pluming. We all live in a sulfur-ass latrine. When I think about that mixed flow right here, I'm damn sure making sure nothing comes through the strait. Everything comes through the inland. Everything goes into the trough, swallowing the streams and killing the trees. Pip, beep, pigtail stocking. Look at this shit. Come on, Greta, where are you? Are you going to fight the chemtrails? Are you going to fight acid rain? Or are you just going to suck up your Antifa t-shirts, having your Rothschild yacht trips to New York while you're playing hooky from school? Not talking about what's really poisoning us. Not talking about what is causation of too much disaster and malaise as these bombs here descend over this land of New Zealand. Poisoning these people. Look at it, Eminent, right from this one point, right from this one spot. I'm gonna rub people's nose in it like a dog which shits on the carpet. Look at these bombs going out of here. Boom, 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 all from one point. 666 is the number of the beast. It's right in front of your fucking eyes. Look at the skies. Look at it. They're killing us. They're sacrificing you. We gotta give it back to them. Fuck this shit. Big love. That's all I got left. I tell you, I got no peace.